Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about what to do when you've been needy and you felt like it's put someone off you and now you're trying to reattract them after being needy. So I got a question from a viewer, and the question was this: how to keep attraction after showing neediness at initial stage of relationship. So also, if you would like me to make a video, if you would like me to create a video on something that you would like me to talk about, discuss, then you can leave it down in the comments, and I will try and get create videos as fast as I can about that situation that you're in. So how to keep attraction after showing neediness at the initial stage of a relationship. So basically, when this kind of thing happens, when you feel like you've been too needy, you've over pursued, you were needing validation, things like that. So this could be messaging too much. It could be constantly asking, "Do you still like me? Do you still like me?" Needing that validation, basically. Basically, too much too soon. And if you feel like you've done that, then basically, in order to reattract them, to make them start liking you more, because it does put people off, right? If you come on too strong too soon at the beginning. And the reason why it does is because you don't know them yet. And they know that they don't really deserve the devotion that you are giving them, because they haven't earned it through their actions. So, for example, if you are saying to someone that you love them too soon, that's going to confuse them, because they're like, well, you don't know me yet, we've only been on a few dates, or it could be that we haven't really spoken that much, how could you be in love with me? And it kind of freaks people out when you say things like this. And the same goes for when you come on a bit too strong at the beginning. It may not be the fact that you said that you loved them or anything like that, but being overly needy at the beginning is not a good idea. And it does ruin attraction, especially if that person isn't there yet. Because what tends to happen in this kind of situation is one has more attraction, so the person who asked this question, and the other person is maybe about down here. So basically, one's attraction is way up and the other person's attraction is about here. And basically, when one person is way more attracted than the other, this causes the other person to even further back down their attraction, because they're not at the same level. They can't meet that expectation of being all the way up here with you because they're not emotionally ready yet. They're not emotionally there yet. Okay? And people need to be emotionally there in order to start, reciprocating that kind of level of devotion and love. Basically, what needs to happen then is that you need to get back down to that level. You need to get down to her level, or his level, depending on who this is, right? So the best thing for you to do in that kind of situation is to back way off, right? Don't send as many messages. Don't see them as much. Let's say you've been dating each other once a week. You've been meeting up once a week. Make it 2 weeks. See them every 2 weeks now. See how long, basically, the messages you send each other as well. So if you're sending messages that are a couple of paragraphs and they're only sending one sentence kind of messages, then you need to kind of match and mirror that kind of thing and only send them those kind of lengthy messages as well. Noticing who's initiating contact more. So let's say, for example, you're the one that says a good morning text and a good night text, and yet they never do any of that kind of thing, then you need to stop doing that. In fact, if I were you, then I'd probably wait for her to start messaging you more and start initiating contact. So basically see through your correspondence who's initiating contact more, who's doing basically most of the texting, the pursuing. And if it's you, if you're the one that's mostly initiating contact, if you're the one that's always pursuing, if you're the one that's always trying to make things happen, then you need to do way less, and you kind of need to switch that dynamic. You need to get it to a place where they're actually chasing you. And the only way you can do that is by backing way off and wait for them to contact you. So basically, you kind of need to go into kind of a bit of a no contact period, and stop speaking to them, basically, unless they speak to you first. So obviously you don't want to ignore them. It's not a good idea to do that, because obviously they might, change their mind about you, and people do change their mind sometimes. Sometimes, all it takes is just for the other person to just back off a little bit, and that opens up them to feel more confident, more sure of themselves to reach out to you. And that makes them feel a little bit easier because they're not hearing from you. So they start to miss you. So they start reaching out to you. And that's basically the place where you want to be. You want to be in a place where they're now the one that's initiating contact with you. And that will show you that they're more attracted to you now. But the worst thing you could do is to, one, continue the way that you've carried on. And that means over pursuing, being the one that's always messaging first, being the needy one. And the second thing, that's the worst thing, another bad thing you can do, is if you ignore them when they reach out to you. Okay, because that's what you want. Like, don't punish them for not being as attracted to you as what you are. You know, allow them to reach out to you and reciprocate it whenever they reach out to you, whenever they initiate contact with you. Because I have spoken to people who get upset by the fact that the person isn't showing as much interest, and when the person comes back, they start ignoring them. And that's the complete opposite. And they're like, I don't know what I did wrong. They're still not talking to me. And it's like, well, yeah, because you ignored them when they did reach out to you. You basically ignored them when they started displaying the behaviors that you wanted them to do. And now they've gone off even further and they're no longer interested. So, you know, don't berate them, don't be nasty to them, don't ignore them when they do reach out to you, because that's the behavior that you want. You know, you got to reward good behavior, basically. It's like what you kind of do with a puppy. You know, you reward the good behavior, and you kind of ignore the bad behavior, and you don't reward them for the bad behavior. So if the person that you like starts behaving in the way that you want them to behave, like initiating contact, showing more interest, you know, showing more attraction towards you, then you need to reward that by reciprocating it. You know, when they reach out to you, arrange another date with them. You know, when they reach out to you saying, hey, how are you? How have you been? Be like, I'm great, thanks, I'd love to have a catch up. When are you available to get together? And then arrange a date with them, arrange a concrete date so it's not up in the air. So the best thing for you to do right now is to back off, way off. And start sending less messages, because it might be the case that you are still in correspondence with each other, but they're not showing as much enthusiasm anymore. So basically you just need to back off. It might be the case that they have lost all attraction for you. Then really the best thing for you to do is to probably really wait a long time to ever message them again. In fact, it's probably best if you don't message them again. So I would say, you know, the best way probably to tell if this person isn't interested in you is if you wait like a few weeks to see if they ever initiate contact with you. And if they do not initiate contact with you, then rule them out and start dating someone else. Because you want to be with someone who's enthusiastic about dating you. You want to start being with and hanging out with people that, you know, show the same level of interest. Yeah? So that's kind of like what you need to do. You need to really back off and allow them to come to you. And if they don't come to you, you know, just give it a few weeks. Then start dating other people and start looking at other options. And make sure you've got a lot of people lined up that you can date. You know, get a couple of dating apps. Get a roughly, I think the sweet spot is around 3 dating apps. Because I think if you have more than 3, then it's really hard to maintain them all and to check up on them all. But if you got less than that, you could be potentially missing out on a lot of people, because most of the time people only have 1 dating app. So if people only have 1 dating app, then you could potentially be missing out on a load of other people if you have 3 dating apps. So basically you need to get yourself in the game. And these kinds of things won't bother you as much if you've got a lot of people that you're dating, right? If you've got, like, let's say someone rejects you, but you've got another couple of dates coming up this week. When you've got a lot of prospects, it won't feel as bad. You know, it's kind of like when you're job hunting. Like, if you've got a lot of people that want to employ you and you feel like you've got choices, then you don't feel as bad about rejecting one job, or if one job says, oh, you know what, we've changed our mind, we've hired someone else, because you've got other jobs, you've got other potential jobs to have. And it's the same with dating. If you're dating multiple people and you've got other dates lined up and you've set other dates with other people, let's say, you know, like I said, you've got 2 other dates coming up this week, and yet one guy is starting to display less interest, it won't matter as much, it won't sting as much, because you've got other dates coming up. So you've got to have abundance, you've got to have, and that will make you feel less scared when it comes to just, you know, a couple of people. Because I feel like a lot of people do get hung up on one person, and because they're so hung up on that one person, and that one person is the whole world when it comes to romance, when that person rejects them or starts losing interest and starts fizzling away, you know, people are like, oh God, what am I going to do? And then they start watching videos like this one, right? So have a lot of options when it comes to dating, and then these kinds of things won't sting as much, right? And also, if you are dating a lot of people, it's gonna be much faster for you to actually find the right person for you, right? Because you only need one good prospect. You only need one person to spend your life with, right? So you only need one good match, right? So basically, if you keep on dating, if you keep on going through people, you know, prospecting, you will eventually find someone. So yeah, I mean, that's my advice. So when it comes to this person who has started to lose attraction for you because you've been too needy, you know, you just need to back off and see what happens. That's essentially it. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like on it, and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you would like to get in touch with me personally and you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.